Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 9th of September, 2025. A pretty eventful day, all right? To follow up on everything that went down yesterday, today was a make or break day for Hollow Knight Silksong to see if we would play it again. Today also was a full stream of Cronos with no podcast and a late night stream of progress in Gears of War Reloaded on hardcore difficulty, trying to make big progress in the campaign. So, how did everything go? All right. So, first off, as we were starting up today's stream, I explained to everyone, hey, listen, here's what happened last night with Silksong. We didn't hit the goal and we were under by a lot, by about $54. And if we had hit that goal, we would have guaranteed that we were playing Silksong on Wednesday. Well, we didn't. So if we make $54 for Silksong today on this stream, people say, hey, I wasn't able to make the stream last night, but man, I want to see Silksong. Here's a contribution for it. We'll do it. And immediately as I was explaining that, we hit it. Someone came in and said, I want to see Silksong. Here's a tip. Boom, we hit it. Okay. So immediately we locked in and Silksong is happening. Okay. Now also over the course of said stream, a few other people while we were playing Cronos were saying things such as, man, I actually wanted Silksong as well, and I wasn't able to make the stream last night. So what do we do, for example, if we like a game, but we just can't make a night stream of it? Is there a way that we could possibly, support it or contribute it if we can't be on that particular stream? And I said, well, yeah, there actually are several ways that you can do that. It's just that we don't usually talk about it. Number one, you could do a super thanks on a video. So let's say, for example, tonight you weren't able to make Gears of War Reloaded for whatever reason, but you really liked the playthrough and you wish that we had gotten more support tonight. You could send a super thanks on the videos that I upload tonight. This is just a super chat that you do on an on-demand video rather than on a stream. It shows up. I'll actually engage with it and say thank you and like it and everything. And I will count it as if you were on the live stream and you had contributed. Another way would be to just send a tip to my PayPal. My PayPal link stays the same no matter what, and you can send a tip to my PayPal whenever. If you look at the description of any of my current videos or streams, there's a link that says, here's my PayPal. You could send a tip and just say in the tip, hey, this tip specifically is for such and such a game because I missed out on the stream, but I want to support it and I want to see if this helps with the goal or whatever. I'll count it. Even though the stream is over, I'll still count it. So, perfect example. All right, if that $54 had not come in this morning, but had come in overnight on a super thanks or a tip, I would have counted it and still hit the goal or whatever for Silksong. So, because that happened before we even started with Cronos, boom, we hit a goal. So we were up to 46 goals, okay? Then during the course of Cronos, we got a bunch of support. Seriously, tons of support. People were coming and saying, hey, we're so sorry that recently things have been up and down. Here's a whole bunch of support. By the end of the Cronos stream, I want to say, in addition to the support we had gotten from Silksong, we got like another $230-something. So we hit another goal. We got to 47 goals out of 50. And then I made an announcement. I said, from now on, this is kind of silly that we're going to keep accumulating goals when there's no big milestone rewards. If you remember previous, we were doing marathons based on if we were hitting 50 or 100 goals. But I did away with that. I said, instead, let's just do the marathons. That way we can schedule them, we can promote them, we can get excited about them. We don't have to hit these milestones to do it. Let's just do it. So really, there's nothing at 50, there's nothing at 100. So why am I counting to that? So I decided, moving forward, we will not have those high counts. Instead, we'll start at 0. We'll count up to 10. When we hit 10 goals hit, we'll do a DSP tries it or another reward, and then it resets back to 0. Okay? So we did that today. So I said, okay, so now we're 7 out of 10. All we need is 3 more support goals, and we'll be doing the DSP Tries It Y2K Decades menu from Taco Bell. It released today. I looked it up. It is available for delivery. It's good to go. It's 2 different burritos, a taco, and an empanada, and I'll probably try the new Baja soda that they have there, too. I think it's called like Baja Midnight or something like that. So this will definitely be an interesting DSP Tries It when we get to it, all right? So, how did things go with Cronos today? Big progress. We beat a giant portion all in the steel mines or steel mill. The steel mill. It's a really lengthy portion. It was basically the entirety of the stream today. But It was tons of work. We had to go through quarantine areas and labs and the mines themselves and fighting mini bosses and other things. Crazy stuff. Some rooms had a ridiculous amount of enemies in them. New enemy types were introduced today. New mechanics. Now we actually have the ability to gravity jump from place to place. So really good stuff. Were there tough parts? Absolutely. I died a bunch. But at the same time, we persevered. Even though this game is pretty darn tough, the standard difficulty I would consider hard on any other game, we're making progress. We're getting through it, okay? So I had a great time today with Cronos. And by the end of the stream, like I said, very good. We had like $232 of support, and I'm ready for more later in the week. We're actually in a really good story part. I think at this point, we are around 10 hours in. And by all reports, the game is between 15 to 20 hours long. So likely it's going to take me 2 more streams probably to beat it. Maybe 3, depends, but at least 2, okay? So good stuff. Check out the gameplay. It's live on the channel. Great stuff, great progress. Had a great time. So, support was absolutely overwhelming. And as a result of that support, tomorrow we absolutely will be doing our first major stream of Silksong, and I'll talk about that in a moment, okay? Then tonight, it was time for Gears of War Reloaded as we continued on with this campaign on hardcore difficulty. It was tough. I died a lot. There were certain segments where, like, the AI was so dumb and your partner would just wander off and get murdered instantly, and now you have to do it all by yourself. There were parts where, like, enemies would spawn behind you, and it was very trial and error, and the checkpoints weren't very good, so then you had to reload and go back and redo a whole bunch of gameplay. There was epic boss fights, big stuff. By the end of the night, we are, I believe, more than halfway through Act 4. I'm not sure if we're near the end of Act 4, but I'm pretty sure we're close to it. So one more stream, and we should actually finish the campaign of Gears of War Reloaded on hardcore, okay? How else did it go? Well, actually, attendance was good. Engagement was good. Support was pretty good. Sadly, we didn't hit a goal, but just listen. We hit $125. We were 25 short. And the thing is, maybe I would have stuck around a little later to see if people were interested in hitting that goal. But I had to take a shit. I'm not kidding. Like, it hit me so bad at the end of the stream. I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I was like, guys, I got to go. And I just played the outro music and I ran for the bathroom. Okay? So there was no opportunity to really say to anyone, hey, let's rally. I couldn't do it. I had to get out of here. All right? So here's the deal. We were only $25 away from hitting a goal. So I'm going to lay it out like this, just like we did with Silksong yesterday. If someone out there likes Gears of War and you couldn't make it to tonight's stream for whatever reason, you just couldn't make it. If you do a super thanks overnight on the Gears of War videos, or if you tip me overnight in my tips at PayPal and we hit $25 of support, I'll count it towards last night's, or I should say tonight's stream, and I'll say that we hit goal 48. Because we were that close. It wasn't like we were a million miles away. We were right there. And quite frankly, we might have hit it if I didn't have to take a dump. All right? So if you want to do that, if you like Gears and you want to support the Gears playthrough and you just couldn't make it, and if you want to get DSP tries it as soon as possible, you want to do that overnight, either a super thanks on the video or a tip, I'll accept it and we'll do it, okay? And by the way, I'm willing to do that. I don't think we talk about that enough. A lot of people get upset when I move a stream from a day stream to a night stream. Oh, I can't make night streams. That doesn't mean you can't support it. You could still leave a super thanks. You could still leave a tip. I don't know why a lot of people don't take the advantage of that. They just complain, oh, I can't make the night stream, so now I can't support the game. That's not true at all, okay? So I'm making this known, and here's why I'm really bringing it up. We're only 3 goals away. If we had hit the goal tonight, we would have only been 2 goals away. Well, tomorrow is Silksong. Obviously, people hopefully will show up and engage in support with Silksong, considering they all wanted it, they rallied for it, and we even got extra support this morning to keep it in the rotation, right? So I'm thinking maybe tomorrow we could hit 2 goals and we could have done DSP tries it on tomorrow's stream. But now it's 3. So now it's probably not going to happen. It's a maybe. Maybe it could, maybe it won't. Let's see what happens. Let's see if overnight someone supports Gears of War. Maybe we'll hit another goal. Let's see how many people show up for Silksong, okay? So speaking of which, tomorrow, major Silksong stream. First time I'm giving it a huge chunk of gameplay, and it is a main daytime stream. I've decided once again to not do a podcast. I think I should give the game the attention so we can get maximum progress, and you guys can help me to understand the mechanics and things of it, because I'm trying to learn on the fly. And I think the best way to do that is to do an extended gameplay stream of around 3.5 to 4 hours. So in the morning, we'll have a half-hour hangout session, and then around noon Pacific time, Hollow Knight Silksong will begin, and I'll play for around 3.5 to 4 hours. Let's see how it goes. I'll tell you this. If this is another case where people don't show up and don't engage and don't support, this is going to be it. I'm not, at this point, I'm giving it so many chances, all right? I can only give it so many, and it's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to keep doing it and saying, oh, well, maybe if we get support later. We have to hit a goal tomorrow with Silksong. Let's do it. And then I'll lock it in and say, okay, now I'm convinced this is good for a playthrough. People will show up for a Metroidvania again, and we'll keep going with it. As daytime streams, by the way. Okay? So, overnight, there's a lot going on. Will people support Gears of War so we can get an extra goal and get to 48? I keep saying 48. It would be 8 out of 10. Will people support Silksong tomorrow? If they do, maybe we can hit goals. Maybe we can do DSP tries it tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow, all right? The night stream tomorrow night is also interesting. It is the conclusion of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Now, all we have left is the final boss fight and the final cutscenes. As you know, the final cutscenes are about 20 to 30 minutes long. So that's why I needed to have a night stream to finish this up. And so what we will do is the final boss, the cutscenes, and I'll probably even film like a mini review to share my thoughts about the game. And then after that, we'll do probably extra time for a chill with Phil, stream/video where we just hang out for a little bit and enjoy each other's company. Do I think we're going to have tons of support for that stream tomorrow night? Probably not. It would be great if we did. But already the interest and support in Metal Gear has tapered off huge. The game's now been out for almost 2 weeks. And I didn't think, notably, I wasn't convinced originally that there was going to be an interest in it regardless. But, you guys convinced me to play it, so I did. But it would be a nice way to wrap it up tomorrow night if you can make it and support it and hang out with me and hear my final thoughts and do some chill with Phil. That would be nice, okay? So, Gears videos uploading tonight. Support them if you can. Let's see if we can get an extra goal to get in position for DSP tries it possibly tomorrow. Tomorrow, please show up for an extended gameplay stream of Silksong to see how it does. Please show up, engage, and support Silksong. And tomorrow night, check out the conclusion of Metal Gear Solid Delta. All right? Thank you all for a great streaming day. I will see you in the AM. Good night.